So earlier today, I happened to come across a tweet that was breaking down some of the stuff Kirsche has had to go through throughout her VTubing career to get to where she is now. And obviously, if you don't know who Kirsche is, you should definitely go give her a follow, as she's been one of the most real and based creators in the space for quite a long time. If you like anything that I actually have to say on my channel, you're definitely going to enjoy hers as well. And she's a right-leaning VTuber who covers politics, current events, sometimes drama, whatever that even means nowadays. She's actually live right now, so you should definitely go over there and start watching her live stream, but only after you finish my video, of course. But if you weren't aware, Kirsche is actually at a merch drop going on recently, which has managed to sell well over 3,000 total items, and this is super impressive, especially considering some of the stuff that Kirsche has been going through recently, which I'm going to point out here in a second. But obviously, if you're familiar with Kirsche, you know that she's gone through several cancellation campaigns, and not to mention, some of them have just been from like random people on Twitter, but some of the more prominent ones have actually been from companies and even her own partner brands, which is incredibly disgusting, by the way. And anybody who's participated in any of this should be completely and totally ashamed of themselves. Like, it's complete loser behavior. But getting into one of the first things Kirsche ever went through is one of her detractors, which literally was like somebody's like 4 likes on Twitter, I believe, made her lose a partnership that she had with a game. And this game, the only reason anybody even cared about it was because Kirsche was playing it. This game was, frankly, an unpolished turd. I'm not even going to mention its name because nobody even needs to know what it is, because it's really just that bad. But Kirsche was basically giving this game free advertisement just to play because she enjoyed it. And they ended up actually cutting ties with her just because like one random person on Twitter was upset about the fact that Kirsche was playing it. After this, she went on to go make over 160K with her GamerSupps Cup, which, like this tweet mentions, this is probably one of GamerSupps' most financially successful partnerships ever, right? Like 160,000 is an incredible number, especially for somebody like Kirsche, who is an indie VTuber. And now, more recently, Kirsche's lost her management team, which we've obviously seen some of the drama go down with Mythic and Asmongold and how that's spilled over to a bunch of other creators like Kirsche. And Kirsche said that losing Mythic wasn't the biggest deal in the world to her because they were essentially doing jack piss for her. But I just find it funny that right after Kirsche drops her management team, or rather her management team drops her, she's managed to pull in well over 3,000 orders on her own personal merch store, which is an absolutely incredible number, especially for, like I mentioned, somebody who's doing this by themselves. This tweet also says that 2 of her most selling items on the merch store were actually the most expensive items. So it just goes to show that these companies, they don't need to be afraid of losing money with partnering with somebody like Kirsche, right? I think we saw Rev Says Desu and Straub actually get dropped from Advanced GG recently too, which is like the biggest loser move ever. And they only did it to placate people that were never going to buy their products in the first place, that were never going to put their money where their mouth is, because they never do, right? We saw it with Xvoto 1348 that just came out. These people that whine and cry on Twitter about wokeness and all this stuff, they never actually end up putting their money towards anything they're actually talking about. They're just trying to whine on Twitter, and these people that try to placate these individuals, they're never going to get any financial return for it, right? So it's pretty ridiculous that this is even something that has to be said in the first place. I don't know who the business majors are at these institutions, but you're really helping the argument that college is essentially useless nowadays. But this tweet then goes on to point out some of the stuff, right? Like, all of this stuff has happened, and it's essentially just given Kirsche a much bigger platform because the worst people on planet Earth are constantly essentially doing marketing for her, right? I even think about how I myself found out about Kirsche, and it was because I saw somebody posting, oh, Kirsche's this horrid, super evil person that you should never watch, and if you do watch her, you're also evil. And I was like, well, if this person's saying this, she must be based. So I obviously went to go check Kirsche out, and just like I surmised, she was really based. But yeah, like this tweet says, she was blessed with having some of the stupidest, most dislikable, and morally dubious individuals that went out and came out against her, right? And it did end up giving her a super huge free marketing campaign boost. And one thing I will disagree with this tweet on, actually, though, is I think regardless of all of this hate that came out for Kirsche, I think she still would have ended up where she is today as a very successful indie VTuber, right? Because Kirsche is just, she's entertaining, right? Like, anybody who says otherwise, like, I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit here and insinuate that this hasn't benefited her to some degree, right? But I do think Kirsche, even if it took a longer time, she would have still ended up being very popular because she is just an entertaining creator, and I think that that's how the internet works, personally. I I don't believe in all this like, oh, well, you just got lucky, this or that, whatever, right? There are definitely people that will end up growing over time because they are good creators, and I think Kirsche is definitely one of them. This tweet also then goes on to talk about how the political VTuber niche has become an incredibly, or not an incredibly popular, but an increasingly growing niche within the VTubing space. And they also, hey, called me out here. Political VTuber as a niche has been growing in the background, and many of them are clearly inspired by Kirsche, right? I'm not ashamed to admit, my channel's pretty much inspired by Kirsche, Leaflet, Powder, Smugglana, a bunch of other people too, right? Like, not necessarily VTubers. Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, Rev Says Desu, just a bunch of people out there who are based individuals. And my channel is definitely inspired by them. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But it is funny to to see how much this niche has been growing in recent years, especially considering how much flack it will get you online, especially nowadays. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to make this short video covering what I saw on Twitter, kind of just a post that's glazing Kirsche, to be honest. Like, I just wanted to point out, the good things that are going on for the people on our side of the culture war and in the space, right? So just a little bit of hope for your day, and I will catch you all in the next one. I'll see you later.